According to ex-FBI agent Joe Navarro, our eyes communicate what we are feeling on a reflexive level. Something as simple and completely as uncontrollable as relaxed or constricted pupils can indicate whether or not we feel comfortable or whether we feel threatened. As a public speaker, we want to be the most charismatic person in the room. So even if we're feeling threatened, we can still use eye contact to make ourselves look confident and credible, and to make our audiences feel special. We may not be able to control our pupils, but we can definitely control where we look and the general tension around our eyes. Christine Janke is a speaking coach in Washington, D.C., and when she coaches people about eye contact, she says the goal is to be solid and steady. What this does is it projects confidence and it projects a lot of power. You want everybody in the room to feel like you and they have had a one-on-one connection. So how do we make this happen? I've had some students suggest that the speaker should just look at the back of the room, especially if they're nervous about connecting with individuals. So this can feel super awesome from the speaker perspective. If I don't look at my audience, I don't actually have to deal with my audience. So the problem with this is it totally doesn't work for the audience. As an audience member, I can totally tell if a speaker is looking behind me. Okay, so students will also suggest that speakers should just look at the foreheads of the individuals they're talking to. Sounds like a great idea, right? You're really close to the eyeballs. Okay, so the problem with this is that now, even though you're looking at individuals, you're not actually seeing them. Either way, good eye contact actually has a lot to do with listening, because if I'm looking at somebody in the eyeballs, I can actually tell whether or not they're reacting the way that I want them to, and then I have the power to adjust in the moment. You can't do that if you're not looking at somebody's eyeballs. Alright, so does this mean that I am going to have to gaze into the eyes of every single person in my audience? Heck no. But you do want to evenly distribute your eye contact throughout the course of your speech. Christine Janke, that speaking coach that I mentioned from DC, she suggests dividing the room into quarters. When you divide the room into quarters, you can spend equal time with each section of the room without actually having to look at individuals. What this allows you to do is it allows you to practice and make sure you're not missing people. So a way to start this out is to go ahead and look at each section in a clockwise motion. Once you get comfortable with that, you can look at whatever section you want in whatever order you want to see them in. Okay, so your next question is probably, how long do I have to look at each section? Well, depending on your speaking coach, people actually recommend between 3 seconds and 7 seconds. And to an audience member, this doesn't feel like a lot of time, but to a speaker, it feels like forever. Your audience will thank you, though. It actually only turns out to be about the end of a phrase. Okay, so at this point you're saying, look, Rebecca, this is really easy for you to say, but how am I going to practice this? Well, I have an exercise for you. Okay, so you are going to gather 3 of your friendliest friends, and you're going to ask them to listen to your speech. Before you start talking, you're going to ask each of them to lift up their hand. Now, as you talk through your speech, you are going to make eye contact with the individuals of your group. The moment you make eye contact with the people in your group, that person you're looking at is going to start counting to 5 really slowly. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and silently. As you're speaking to people, they are going to return your gaze. Now, it is your job to look at individuals for 5 whole seconds. It's going to feel like forever. When you get to that 5th second, the listener is going to put down their hand and you get to look at a new person in your group. Now, here's the catch. Every time you break eye contact with the person that you're looking at, they are going to start counting all over again, back at 1. The objective is to clear as many hands as possible before you get to the end of your speech. Have fun practicing your eye contact. Good luck practicing eye contact. You're gonna be great, kid. I'm looking forward to it.